Daniels is dealing with a much bigger issue than his county's tiny budget should have to. The 80 miles of border Cochise County shares with Mexico. Over the last 12 months, he and the other border sheriffs have had to deal with an incredible influx. The most people ever caught crossing the southern border illegally in a single fiscal year just happened, and there was little help from the feds. Sheriff Daniels tells me it affects every division of his office, and one example just from his detention division drives it home.
Since January of this year, 1,016 people were arrested in this county and booked in my jail for border-related crimes.
And listen to just part of that price tag.
The cost over the last 3 months for border-related incarcerations in Cochise County cost my taxpayers $1.2 million.
More than a 20th of his entire budget spent on one division in one quarter on one issue, the border. And unlike Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone protecting ballot boxes, it's not any county sheriff's job to protect the border. It's the job of the federal government. And yet over the last 2 years, Sheriff Daniels tells me Senator Mark Kelly is the only Democrat in Washington who's visited with him.
I've never even met Senator Sinema. I've talked to her on the phone for 15 minutes total, maybe.
Although he tells me Senator Sinema did visit with some folks about the border recently, at least the border challenges faced by wine producers.
Join Jim Sharp, Jamie West, and Detour Dan tomorrow morning at 5 on Arizona's Morning News. Mentioned a little bit earlier, a Russian court denied the appeal of Phoenix Mercury star Brittany Griner today, and President Biden was asked for his reaction.
Asked what his next move will be now that Brittany Griner has lost her appeal in a Russian court, President Biden told reporters his administration's in constant contact with Russian authorities to get her and other Americans released.
So far, we've not been meeting with much positive response, but we're not stopping.
The White House says it's followed up repeatedly with Russia on what it calls a significant and serious offer to get Griner and American Paul Whelan.
I wonder what's being done to release Americans in American jails who were caught with dope.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Also today, House progressives taking back their letter to the president, calling on him to negotiate with Russia to end the war in Ukraine.
I'm in the Del Taco line. It's kind of long. I'm probably going to be a little late.
Progressive Caucus
And I don't
Chair
care.
Camilla
I'm getting my
Jayapal
tacos.
taking responsibility for that letter, saying it was drafted months ago and was sent by staffers without proper vetting. That initial letter urged President Biden to engage in diplomacy with Russia alongside continued military aid to Ukraine. Now clarifying, Jayapal distances Democrats from Republicans who have recently signaled cutting aid to Ukraine should they gain control of the House. Jayapal saying Democrats are unequivocal in supporting Ukraine's fight. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
It's an A and B situation we should see our way out of.
Away from Election Day, Gatos and Chad are experiencing voter fatigue.
So what do you do? What do you do for the next 14 days? Because, again, like I talked about it, like I was watching football all day Sunday, and a lot of...
You vote early with a mail-in ballot and get on with your life.
You know, or Blake Masters or Mark Kelly or what have you. And I just pause it. I don't want to hear from them anymore. Everything they say is a lie anyway. So I just pause it. You know, I look at my phone, see how my fantasy team is doing, right? And then I go back to the TV, hit the live button, and I don't watch it. I can't do it.
Yeah,
and if I'm watching, like I was trying to watch something on YouTube, and I got one of those videos. I turned my phone off. I can't do it.
Like you're watching two games at once, you're flipping back and forth, and it goes to commercial, and it's like a Blake Masters, and then you hit the next, go back to the last channel, and it's a Blake Masters commercial again.
I know. Hey, wise man, what were you doing last night, and you got hit with a commercial?
Yeah, so I like to watch interviews on YouTube, just of random things while playing video games. So I was watching a Robin Williams interview that he did before he died.
Okay.
And while I'm watching it, it was an old Charlie Rose interview. And Charlie Rose asked him a question right when Robin goes to answer it. I've been a Republican in Arizona for 50 years. I looked down at my phone, which I'm playing it on, and of course it's a commercial that cut in right when Robin was about to direct contact from the grave. I was like, he's not a Republican from Arizona. You thought Robin Williams said that. So I didn't know.
So usually they play it at the beginning beginning, but now it's in the middle of content.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is a disaster.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And you'll get the same one like 4 times in a long.
Yeah.
If you watch a long video,
Oh,
you'll get the same ones over and over and over.
if someone says
That is
this
annoying.
message, I'm kicking you in the mouth. Somebody says that again, I'm just serious. I'm using my skill for karate, and I'm going to kick you in the mouth.
I mostly approve some of this message. That's what they should say. I mostly approve this message that somebody else actually did for me. And I'm not quite sure what they're saying.
I mostly approve this lie that I just paid for.
That's where we are, people.
I
This
know.
is it. It's 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
Then the lawsuits.
Oh, no. It's 2 more weeks.
The negative ads are so twisting the truth right now.
Because once it happens,
Yeah.
and it's close, there's going to be a lawsuit to force something that's already going to
Oh,
happen
jeez.
while they read. It's just. And hey, wise man, find out what's the margin of victory that automatically triggers a recount. Because usually it's like 3% or something ridiculous like that.
Well, it could be. Somebody could lose by 40%, and they'll still want to
They
recount.
may.
Say they got robbed.
They may. Did you count all of them?
They just counted.
Cochise County? Did you count all of them?
Cochise County is going to let the machines count the vote, and then right after that, they're going to count the votes by hand. And then-
Nobody stood up and go, hey guys, this sounds like a really stupid idea.
Yeah, it sounds really stupid. And illegal.
I'm going to let them wash the dishes, and then when they're done, I'm going to take them out and wash them by hand. What are you going to say to that?
That's exactly what they're doing.
You can hear more. Just download the KTAR app and be sure you subscribe to the Gators and Chad Show podcast.
Yeah, can I get 12 of the soft snack tacos, but get all the lettuce in a container on the side?
Just like 12?
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Square feet. Demolition expected to start in December, with the entire project set to be finished before February of 2024. And the Phoenix.
Yay, it's the young chick at the drive-thru. She's a little less.
There'll be a lot to do, including
Seems a little less discombobulated than the old chick that was here last time I came here.
It kicks off November 5th from 1 to 4 on the North Soccer Field. And construction is starting on a food innovation center. Arizona Fresh, Agri-Food Innovation
Damn,
Center.
Discover
will
is
include
maxed out
produce
right now.
Distribution Center, year-round farmers market, and
I
community park near
had to
7th
take some
Street
time out
in
and
Elwood.
try to sort all that shit out.
To create 1,500 jobs. The Dow is up 337 points. NASDAQ.
And I'm still trying to, like,
S&P up 61.
squeeze enough
And if
money
you
out of
want
the
more
end of the
money,
month
go
to
the
get that
KTAR Business
collection of
Center,
laser discs too.
KTAR.com. The nation's report card is out for the first time in 2 years. How did Arizona kids do? Also tonight, a brand new lawsuit alleging voter intimidation at the vote drop boxes. We're less than 5 minutes away from more on those stories and another traffic check. KTAR News Time is 6:26.
KTAR News, winner of 3 Edward
I need to get in touch with that family out in
news coverage, hard news, and overall excellence.
out in North Scottsdale that I did the big party for last year. That needs to happen again.
Live on the KTAR News app.
I still haven't got confirmation if I'm gonna be able to use vacation time to do the Cafe Monarch Christmas party. That's definite. By the way, I got confirmation from them today. And a dollar figure, which is not as much money as I was hoping they would offer me, but it's a good enough offer. I'm just gonna take it and not even haggle for more. Well, I may be good. Although I got a feeling that not only are they going to feed me, they're probably going to send me with a substantial amount of food when I go home. So the cost of food these days, that's gold. It really is. So I guess I should say the date and the date. That would help. I'm at Del Taco. It's Taco Tuesday, October 25th, 2022, 6:27 p.m. right now. Oh yeah, I'm definitely on my way to being to work late, and that's fine. Give a shit about the prep and prep receive stand up. It's all over there. It's all about rate, and at this point, I've been there long enough to realize that rate is a manipulated number, and the people that do best at it are not the people that are working hardest and fastest. They're the people that are manipulating the numbers the best by cherry picking boxes. But they're cherry picking in a way that's going going to bump their rate as opposed to a way that's going to best benefit Amazon and the environment by having more fully, neatly packed totes.
Working with a one-trick pony. So truck yourself over to Trajan Wealth and learn all of your options. For 4 convenient Valley locations, call 480-990-3300, 480-990-3300, or visit TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC and SEC registered investment advisor.
Is private student loan debt ruining your credit and your life? Do you need relief? Just go to yrefi.com. How about a payment you can afford, a lower fixed interest rate, improving your credit score, and saving thousands of dollars? yrefi.com. YRefi is not a debt.
As low as that total is, I could have lowered it by $1 if I took the time to fill out one of my Del Taco receipts. I used to always do that, and it's like $1 I let slip by every time I go through this drive-thru. I need to be more diligent about that.
This is Senator Mark Kelly. Serving as a combat pilot in the Navy taught me a lot.
Granted, that dollar isn't worth nearly as much as it used to be, 2 months ago, but still, and to say nothing of, the 2 years ago when I used to do that all the time, but still every dollar adds up. Having a dollar that's, a total that's $6 and change versus $5 and change, or I'm sorry, $6 and change versus $7 and change would help. Actually, I think it is the older gallon drive-through.
High-paying manufacturing jobs here in Arizona. No red
I think it's a different one though, or maybe she's just a lot less frazzled tonight.
My mission in the Senate has been the same since day one. Work as a team to get things done for Arizonans. There's still more work to do, but I'm proud to say that we're on our way together. I'm Mark Kelly, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Mark Kelly for Senate.
After a long, hot summer, your AC system may be barely hanging on. And if you've been waiting for that end of summer sale to get a new AC system, that time is now. Collins Comfort is an official Lennox dealer and can install a new high-efficiency...
Every Mark Kelly ad just makes me absolutely roll my eyes.
So quit worrying and call the experts at
All the things he says he's supporting are all the things he's basically voted against while he's been in Congress. Is there any Del Scorcho in there? A little Del Scorcho. It is the young chick.
This is Arizona's Evening News with Becky Lane.
Good Tuesday evening. It is 6:31.
Is the receipt in the bag?
Shows Republican Carrie Lake with the advantage in the governor's race. We'll have the full results. Also,
Awesome. Whoa.
oh no! Governor Newsom says summer camp for Arizona students is coming back.
Got it. Thank you.
So a new lawsuit has been filed in federal court against the vote box watchers dressed in tactical gear.
This is such a crazy story.
That story's coming up right after we get a look at traffic. We're going to go right now to the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center. Here's
Speaking
Jeff
of looking
Rowe.
at traffic, I'm going to look
Still
at my
busier than
Google
gangbusters
traffic.
out there. We have a new crash reported
That's
on the
not what I wanna hear.
I-10 westbound
That's
at 51st
very much
Avenue.
not what I wanna
Also
hear.
hearing about a wreck on the 202 South Mountain Freeway northbound at Buckeye Road. A couple of wrecks on the 101, the Pima Freeway southbound past McDowell Road. Also looking at a collision on the 101 Price Freeway southbound at Southern Avenue.
on, resolve my
that
traffic,
one is
Obama
clearing
phone.
off right. Surface Street wrecks Dunlap east of 19th Avenue. Apache at the
Oh,
101 in
yikes.
Tempe. 59th Avenue north of Indian School Road. A bad crash there. Someone having to be extricated from the vehicle. Cactus and Mirage Road and a new
Jesus.
crash in Goodyear Yuma Road at Cotton Lane. This traffic report brought to you by Gettle Air Conditioning and Plumbing. GOEGTL. It'll keep you cool with a
I got no good options.
Gettle.com.
Yeah, I'm going to be late to work.
Chuck Rowe, KTAR News.
Another chilly night ahead with a low of 55 in Phoenix. Wednesday brings mostly sunny skies and a high
I'm wearing
80s.
shorts and a
Lows
shirt sleeve
below 80s
t-shirt.
through the weekend, with
Awesome.
warm lows in the 50s each day. I'm ABC 15 meteorologist Iris Hermosillo.
In Tempe, it's 72 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. It is 6:32.
Arizona votes.
On a brighter note, my heat is working, although I turned up the heat this morning.
KTAR's Susan Monday joins us live with the details.
Oh, we got more details on
Has
this.
now been filed in federal court alleging the vote box watchers are engaging in illegal voter intimidation. The group Protect Democracy filed the suit on behalf of the League of Women Voters of Arizona. It names the Lions of Liberty, the Yavapai County Preparedness Team, and Clean Elections USA, among other groups and people.
Today we filed a lawsuit under the Voting Rights Act and the Ku Klux Klan Act seeking to put this behavior to an end.
That's Protect Democracy's Will Gaona, who says the lawsuit specifically addresses deliberate intimidation tactics.
When vigilantes who are dressed in tactical gear, who are armed, who are carrying ammunition, are posting up outside of drop boxes and taking pictures of voters, taking pictures of their license plates, their cars, and all those kinds of things, that is an intentional attempt to intimidate voters.
The lawsuit cites federal law, which protects the right of voters to cast their ballot free from intimidation, threats, or coercion. Live in the news center, Susan Monday, KTAR News.
Now, a prominent candidate for the U.S. Senate is okay with people watching voting locations if they follow the law. But that belief is quite different from that of the Maricopa County Sheriff. Our team coverage continues with KTAR's Colton Krolak.
Lake Massey says people should follow the law, but tells the Mike Broomhead Show he encourages people to record drop boxes.
Stay whatever that is, at 75 feet, whatever it is, stay that distance away. Don't intimidate any voters. Get your video camera out and record to make sure people aren't ballot harvesting.
But Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone says just because you can do something legally doesn't mean you should. He also tells the Mike Broomhead Show while there's no law against watching ballot boxes in tactical gear, it can still be harmful. Colton Krolak, KTAR News.
Arizona's Citizens Clean Election Commission wants a group that's monitoring those ballot drop boxes here in Maricopa County to stop using its name. Members of the group have
This
said
is an
they're
interesting
with
story.
Clean Elections USA, a grassroots organization that supports claims of voter fraud in the 2020 election.
Folks interfering with people's voting using the Clean Elections name betrays the agreement that voters have made with the state of Arizona to bring nonpartisan voter information to voters.
Tom Collins with the commission has asked the state's attorney general for legal counsel. New polling suggests the momentum in the Arizona governor's race is starting to swing toward Republican Carrie Lake. KTAR's Luke Forstner has the numbers.
Well, Becky, that's according to polling firm Data Orbital's president, George Califf.
We were polling likely general election voters, and we found that Republican Carrie Lake has a 2.5% advantage over Democrat Katie Hobbs.
He says a few big trends are causing this shift. For one,
there has been a consolidation of Republicans for Carrie after the primary. The lion's share of those Republicans have what we call in the industry, quote, come home. So they are now Republicans that are going to vote for a Republican.
And he adds independents are also playing a part.
Independents had a much larger margin for Democrat Katie Hobbs a month or two ago. Independents in Arizona tend to lean to the right, and now we are seeing movement in Carrie Lake's direction on behalf of independents.
Califf acknowledges it's a tight race.
The margin of error is about 4.5%. This is in the margin of error. That is why we look at momentum as much as we look at the snapshot in time. The trend lines are definitely favorable for Carrie Lake.
And they look at other organizations' polls as well.
The preponderance of the polls show that Republican Carrie Lake is up, so we are all in line with each other. Even though all those results are within the margin of error, it's clear that the race is in her direction.
Aggregate polling from Real Clear Politics and 538 also shows Lake with a slight edge over Hobbs. Luke Forstner, KTAR News.
The midterm election is 2 weeks away, but ballot counting already is underway in Maricopa County. The Elections Department has about 200,000 early ballots to count so far.
We don't print any results until 8 p.m. on election night, but we can begin tabulating to have them ready.
Recorder Stephen Richer tells the Mike Broomhead Show, if you still have your ballot at home, get it in the mail by next Tuesday so it can get to the Elections Department on time. You can also drop it off or vote in person at a voting center. Find one near you at locations.maricopa.vote. After some voters refused to use the quick-drying felt-tip pens provided by the county in August, the Maricopa County Elections Department is making sure there won't be any issues in November. Megan Gilbertson with the department explains.
Wow, this fool is driving 20 miles an hour.
The tabulation machine.
Oh, we have flashing lights coming up. Fabulous.
To be able to go to those locations and do a quick cleaning on the inside. It's never perfect, and so that's why we do want to make sure that voters use that type of ink that we provide.
The department will also have extra machines ready to change out if necessary. For the latest on the November 8th midterm election, go to KTAR.com. KTAR.com/Arizona Votes. KTAR, Eyes on Education.
We are going to do this again.
I was thinking about turning left here
On
to
the
evade
heels
traffic.
of a middle-of-the-road national report card for Arizona
it.
schools, Governor Doug Ducey is announcing his state-sponsored summer camp will be back for another year. The AZ On Track summer camp took a focus on reading, math, and other subjects. He says next year's camp will be funded before he leaves office.
Arizona's immigration crisis.
Border crossings hit 2.7 million last fiscal year.
And I got a red light coming up.
County Sheriff Mark Daniels, support has not been readily available.
Sheriff Daniels told Arizona's Morning News he's extremely frustrated by the lack of response to border security.
Nobody's even saying, Sheriff, what can we do for you? What can we do to step up and help you?
He says while Senator Mark Kelly has offered support, the feds have been largely absent from border discussions, which makes solutions hard to come by.
Everybody likes to divert that conversation to, well, I don't like this measure, I don't like this. Well, give me a measure that works. I haven't heard a solution come out of you.
Daniels adds border crossing responses have cost Cochise taxpayers more than $1 million this year. Brandon King at KTAR News.
It is 6:39. St. Louis authorities say the shooter in that deadly attack at a high school was a former student, 19-year-old Orlando Harris. And tonight, the investigation has uncovered some important information.
Central Visual and Performing Arts High School in St. Louis came under fire Monday morning by a recent graduate.
So I don't think this intersection has one.
Saw students on the roof awaiting rescue after the shooter opened fire on the third floor with a long gun.
An AR-15 style rifle. It appears that he came into the building with more than 600 rounds of ammunition.
Police are still working to determine a motive, but detectives found a note in which the shooter described himself as an isolated loner and said his life had become a perfect storm for a mass shooter. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
This holiday season, there's going to be a new way to make that Amazon purchase.
Making a purchase on Amazon? You may now have another option besides credit or debit cards. Some customers can now pay for their purchases using their Venmo accounts. Venmo is known for peer-to-peer transactions, but it's been expanding to allow payments to businesses too. And Amazon expects to make the Venmo option available to everyone by Black Friday.
I'm legitimately surprised that Amazon didn't already take Venmo.
We're going to tell you more about a lawsuit filed today. It's not even election day yet, and we already have our first lawsuit. And we'll have a check on your ride home to KTAR News.
Actually, I have my Amazon account tied in with my Discover, which of course is not good right now because my Discover card is. Oh, excuse me, my Discover card is maxed out, but. Discover has a rewards program with Amazon that not only throws me cash back at my Discover balance, but it also eeny, meeny, miny. I think I'm going left here. It also gives like reward dollars on Amazon.com, which I can spend on their own. I mean, I've had times where I've gone and I've just wanted to get something small on Amazon, you know, like a CD or a movie or something, and I've paid for it in its entirety with my Amazon Discover reward dollars. And other times where, like, I've used my reward dollars and then what actually went into my credit card as a billable amount was like $1 and change. So
is the official real estate partner of the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona
yeah, I mean, Venmo's an option, and I might have a little bit of money in my Venmo account, but yeah, I don't see me using anything other than Discover. I mean, at this point, if I was going to do a purchase on Amazon, not that that's on my agenda right now, but if I was, I'd hop on my Discover app and do a quick funds transfer to my Discover, and then turn around and do my purchase on Amazon. And I'm heading onto traffic going this way too. Oh no, I'm not. That yellow is northbound. Oh, although the 17th split is looking like shit too. Damn it. Here's a ramp I don't drive over very often that hardly ever has any traffic on it. It's kind of random. There's somebody following me over it. Yeah, this comes out at Sky Harbor Boulevard, I think it's called. Sky Harbor Parkway, or no, not Sky Harbor Boulevard. Sky Harbor Boulevard is the one that goes through the airport. I guess it's called Sky Harbor Parkway. This road's a little rough these days, and you can tell there's been some kind of not so great changes to it. This was part of an urban renewal project that was done in the 1990s to, it's gonna make the airport expand and offer a nice light industrial district. And as you can see, there's lots of empty space in it, so it never really got developed like it was supposed to get developed. And mostly what this accomplished was eliminating all the poor Mexican neighborhoods that were in this area. And I'm not one to really go off on the tangent of city planning and urban renewal and freeway development is all about destroying the communities of minorities, but this this project's a pretty prime example of something that did that, sadly. In fact, the only thing that really remains of the Mexican community that used to be here, and by Mexican I mean Mexican American, by the way. A lot of the families that lived in this area had actually lived in this area like since before Arizona statehood. A lot of people tend to forget when they get on the whole immigration topic. There's a big difference between Mexican American families that have lived in the Phoenix area for many, many generations that are very much Americans and Arizonans in so many more ways than pretty much anybody else, unless you're Navajo or Hopi or Maricopa, Pima, yeah, those people not to be confused with the onslaught people crossing the border. Oh shit, there is a pedestrian moving real slow. You cross the street like you got some purpose. God damn. I'm all about pedestrians, I really am, but if that woman was moving any slower, she'd have been moonwalking. Backwards. Alright, it looks like I'm headed towards a little bit of yellow at the I-17, but it's it looks like it kind of ends where the on-ramp begins. Wow, looking at the traffic going over the bridge, it looks like they're just flying, so. Oh, are you kidding me? I almost wonder if the Obama phone just isn't updating very quickly. Yeah, traffic seems to be flying. Wow, that caution tape on the underpass is new. 14 foot, really considered low clearance? I'm assuming some trailers or tour buses have hit that, or it wouldn't have that. Wouldn't have the additional signs. Those are new. Damn, there are a lot of people making that left. Normally I'll turn right when people are turning left if there's multiple lanes, but I know that this on-ramp cuts left really quick. I don't have anybody riding my ass trying to turn right at the moment. That is a lot of people making that left. Holy crap. I am clearly not the only one making creative route choices to try to evade traffic right now. This is crazy because it's like 6:47 now. I mean, I shouldn't even be. I mean, I'm still technically on the east side of Phoenix. I should be getting off on 75th Avenue right now.
FEMA Freeway freeway southbound of McDowell Road, a crash out of lanes. Just a little slowing there at the scene. Also had a crash in Tempe on the 101 southbound at Broadway. That has cleared. I'm still seeing delays back toward the 202 Red Mountain Freeway. Now on the 202 Red Mountain westbound, there was a crash past Scottsdale Road. Just a little tap of the brake pedal there. You do hit that heavier slowing as you approach the mini stack on the 202 westbound, starting at about 32nd Street. New rollover crash reported in Scottsdale Road at Pinnacle Peak. Dunlap east of 19th Avenue, a wreck. There's a bad collision at 59th Avenue north of Indian School, and watch for a crash in El Mirage, Cactus Road at El Mirage Road. This traffic report brought to you by Rhino Shield. Rhino Shield's unique 3M ceramic technology reflects...
Never fails to blow my mind how, like, that level of traffic, like injuries, fatalities, and whatnot, it's just completely normalized. Like, oh, this is normal, this is fine. And the whole move to make cars safer with more safety features, to me, I think is counterproductive, because it just makes drivers that much more inattentive. If everybody was driving something like my CRX with a 5-speed and manual steering and manual brakes and no airbags, I bet they'd be way more cautious drivers. Just saying. As I have two smartphones going, one recording me talking to myself and the other one down on my D checking traffic view. But oh man, I-10 still looks like shit.
She's concerned that many voters are now soured on the process.
And voters just not caring and not wanting to be a part of it. Those that do vote are going to be disappointed, because in some of the really big, close, contentious, tight races, we may not know for a week. Election officials are going to have to take their time.
I love it when it takes a long time for election results. I just enjoy the speculation of chaos.
KTAR.com/Arizona votes. Jim Cross, KTAR News.
Oh, and the iPhone out of focus as always. This is not like to shoot in this car at night.
Today on the Mike Broomhead Show, Mike spoke to Maricopa County Sheriff Paul Penzone about the legality of watching voting locations.
There's been at least 6 accusations of voter intimidation. Is your agency investigating those? Do you expect any arrests?
I don't know about the 6, Mike. I know of 2. One was the incident where
I-10 still not look good on the west side.
We're looking at that one.
Looking like my best move is going to be Buckeye Road.
Their presence was more aggressive.
Damn it.
To 2 that I am aware of, but it doesn't mean those other 4 that you're referencing that my team's looking into, and I'm just not aware of it yet. So, most of them have been, first and foremost, any form of intimidation is unacceptable. So let's just be clear about that. I would tell you that there are things that are so easily avoidable and unnecessary, and that's what's frustrating for me as a sheriff when we're dedicating resources to people just misbehaving. When
Paul Penzone talks so fast, he kind of sounds like one of those medical ad disclaimers with the voices sped up to get all the warnings in a minimal amount of space.
And allow people their freedoms, just like you want your freedoms protected. It shouldn't be that difficult of a formula.
So can you kind of walk the line with us with this? Because there's a big difference between what you should do and what you can do. So there's a lot of times when it looks like it's intimidating, it's not something any of us would encourage, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're violating the law. Is that true?
Yeah, you phrase it perfectly. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should, meaning just because you can go out there and you want to participate somewhere that you feel you're protecting democracy. I can understand if you're well-intended, but you also need to recognize that there's good people just trying to vote or go to work or take care of their families. And in your presence, if you are dressing very, I'll just say aggressively, you can. It's lawful to go out there, whatever ballistic gear you want to wear.
I really should have given that guy more clearance. There's a guy left of me.
In some way, or you feel safer by doing so.
This is not a bicycle-friendly street at all.
You're interacting with, they're just decent people, and suddenly you're in their space in a capacity where
usually when I see a bicycle on Buckeye Road, they're on the sidewalk.
If you're genuinely there just to kind of watch to make sure nobody's stuffing ballot boxes, I'm not so sure why you have to be dressed up in that manner where you're drawing attention to yourself. So what is the law? The law is your behavior, meaning if you say things that are threatening, if you are trying to intimidate people and interfere with their ability to get to the box and to drop a ballot, if you're engaging in a way where you restrict their movement, if you point a weapon in their direction, all things that fundamentally are a crime anywhere else are going to probably apply directly in that same space.
I know that your agency has had conversations with the people at the county, whether it's the recorder's office or otherwise. Has anybody in your
6:52. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be late.
Drop boxes and tried to have a conversation with them?
I want them to feel comfortable.
I'm at 27th Avenue.
Damn. What I don't want is for them to feel like it is.
But I got my tacos.
You see deputies in uniform patrolling around so that people can vote, because that could be as intimidating as the people wearing the ballistic gear. So we try to be very engaged and interactive so we can educate the folks that are either volunteering or working for the recorder's office, so they know the laws, they know that they're going to be safe, and if there is a breach in the law or there's an issue of concern, they know how to report it to us so that we can respond quickly and address it and mitigate it.
And of course, this afternoon, a lawsuit was filed over the ballot box watcher. More on that coming up in a moment. You can hear more if you download the KTAR app and subscribe to the Mike Broomhead podcast. Busy night for Valley sports fans, and it's going to be a big night.
Yeah, I could care less, but I'm not a sports fan. Oh, so anyway, if you made it with me this far, past 34 minutes of mostly just me listening to KTAR and trying to negotiate traffic, and at this point there's no point in me having my traffic view on in my lap, so shut that down so I got one less thing to worry about. So as I was saying, yeah, in prep and receiving Amazon, that the rate as it is counted, and it seems to be the only thing that the managers really much of the managers, certainly the PAs, seem to focus on in that department. I mean, oh, this is your rate. I think I popped one of the guys' brains because he came up wanting to talk to me about my rate, which I personally felt was just distracting me from doing my job. Like if somebody's running a race, right? When they're a mile away from the finish line is not the time to talk to them about where they are in the race. Like, just shut the fuck up and let them keep running. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, he starts talking about rate and numbers, and I just kind of cut him off and said, you know I'm paid by the hour, not the item, right? And I don't think he got. I don't think he even understood what I was saying. But I mean, the reality is, I'm paid by the hour. I'm not paid by the item. If I'm paid by the item, like, when they start giving like $20 or $40 bonuses for hitting at or above rate, then I'll care. But until then, give a fuck. Like, oh, I'm under rate. What are you gonna do about it? Decide you don't like me in this department and send me to another department? Because inbound really wants me back. Just saying. Oh yeah, and I'm a pit driver again. Outbound really wants me back too. And all your water spiders, every time I see them, are like, God, when are you gonna go back to unloading totes? Everybody else is so fucking slow at it. So yeah, like, by all means, kick me out of this department, please. Anyway, I believe I only have 2 more days left there. I believe. But well, yeah, when I said that, I don't even think he understood what my like subtle point was. My not so subtle point was, because he's like trying to clarify the numbers. All those numbers aren't. That is how many per hour. And I could be working dog shit slow and taking a bathroom break every 10 minutes, and I'm still paid the same hourly wage. And if you write me up, I'm not getting fired over it, so I don't give a fuck. See the vest I'm wearing right now? See my safety vest? It says new operator. That means I'm a pit driver. That means I know how to drive a forklift. That means if I actually do get fired for it, I go work in another warehouse and make more money and get hired immediately. Like, I think some of the managers there, especially the lower level managers, especially at that part of the building, and then some of the people that work in that department a lot have just drank so much of the Amazon Kool-Aid that they think that number matters. And the reality is, even from a business standpoint, that number doesn't matter. Units don't matter. And I'm actually thinking about putting stuff, like, I've thought about putting stuff on the Voice of Amazon message board. I thought about doing something. I said I was going to read some on my channel, and I haven't. But I thought about doing some about what a joke are let us clarify, these are not cost of living raises. Yeah, because they're nowhere near matching the cost of living. Thanks, assholes. And there were so many other people that left comments about that. So yeah, I didn't really need to. And some people were a lot more brutal and blunt than I could have been. I was thinking really seriously for a while about leaving some really medically disgusting ones about them fixing the fans and doing something about the air conditioning when it was getting really hot around the docks last summer, and just, going into details about things like my ass crack chafing and it causing hemorrhoids, and that I'd be more productive if I didn't have to take extended bathroom breaks to powder my inflamed hemorrhoids that were due to me sweating, due to you people not keeping the air where it should be and having the fans working. Because I'm sure, everyone would love to read about that. The couple of people I suggested to were like, do it, that's fucking hysterical. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll work on that while I go powder my butthole as I walk off the line, But I mean, that was legit. I wasn't making that up, And, yeah. It's should I go to AmCare and make them look at my asshole? Should I do that? Should I get that actually written up? That would be fabulous. Talk about some things the people at safety won't be able to unsee. But anyway, oh goodness, but yeah, no, I've been thinking about putting something on the Voice of Amazon message board about just how the people that are getting rate are and I finally I've been there long enough to kind of get what's going on with it, and to work opposite somebody who doesn't even speak English, who's an absolute master at getting rate, and I mean, she's cherry picking boxes specifically to bump her rate up. It was real obvious. For instance, she did not do I don't think she did one single box where, so basically you've got items and you've got boxes, and which is also known as a source container, which will have, you got to scan what your source container is and then scan the item. Well, there's a lot of items where they are the source container, which obviously takes 2 scans and then putting it in the box. And there are many, and we're filling totes. There are many items where one item fills a tote. So obviously when you're just, the only metric that they're taking into account is how many items you did. If you're doing a bunch of items where that item is also your source container and also fills a tote, with the additional scans that you're doing, when you count all the additional scans that you're doing, and the time it takes to do that, hit the button to do that, and then how long it takes, when for every one you're having to grab another tote, scan another tote outgoing, and then push it down the line, and then possibly wait to push it down the line because the line is jammed up. It's not going to do wonders for your unit count number. And I'm thinking maybe they need a more real, a more telling metric, like how many pounds, because everything is being registered in pounds. In fact, speaking of which, I had one yesterday where I threw, I'm on 79th Avenue already. Oh no, I'm at 71st Avenue. They both look the same. Where I had a couple different instances where the weights were in the system wrong. I had one that was really fucking me up. I'm like, why is this not working? And it was some dog leashes that obviously got put in the system wrong. And when that happens, I'm really supposed to stop and get a problem solver and point it out and get it adjusted in the system. And For a while there I was, but as much as I've got people coming up to me going, well, you're not quite at rate yet, you're not getting there, you need to step it up. Really? Because wouldn't you want me to get the weight correct on this? Because this is going to throw shit off all the way down the line, from shipping to everything. And I was just like, you know what? No, they're just concerned about rate. Fuck it. And I just took them out, and I had a couple totes that included these particular leashes that had the weights wrong, that had way less product in them than they could have, because somebody put in the system that this leash that just weighed, a few ounces weighed a few pounds. So whatever. I did on one actually stop and get a problem solver involved, which of course took away from the time, of me hitting my rate. But where am I here? 70. Oh, that was 79th. Wow, I did that. No, that couldn't. Oh, you know what? Fuck. I'm just gonna make myself later. I'm looking for 79th Avenue as if I'm on Van Buren. I totally forgot I'm on Buckeye. All right, let's get myself to work even later. Awesome. Wow, never made that mistake before. Where I made my mistake is usually when I stay on Buckeye, I stay on it to 59th, and I do 59th, which is functionally a freeway up to Van Buren. That's where I made my mistake. Oh well, that's all right. I'm doing small doses of PTO to make up for that, and yeah, a little bit less time having listened to people hype up rate. But I think if they also did it, I think if they did a metric that was a ratio, like a combined ratio of item rate, items per hour. By rate, I mean items per hour. Also, cartons per hour, meaning or containers per hour, and then also pounds per hour, which says nothing of the ones that were wrong. Oh, and the thing I made a point to get with the because I threw a few before I noticed it. I'm throwing full containers with 3 items that I know are probably weighing, I would guesstimate just by feeling them, they probably weighed about 15 pounds. Just gauging weight with my arms, which were 3 large items. So of course I'm not doing anything that's going to bump up my rate. But the 3 items fit really well in that tote, and it wasn't bringing up to the max weight, but I mean it was filling the tote, which to me is my goal. I'm not concerned about an arbitrary number that just means how well you're manipulating the system. I'm concerned about full totes, so that the maximum amount of trailer space is being used, so that fuel is not being wasted and the environment is not being more polluted by the transportation of goods by Amazon, whose sustainability numbers aren't as good as they would like people to think they are, which is public knowledge. You can Google that. Okay, this is Van Buren. I need to turn right at the next light after it. Oh, I hate going into the warehouse this direction. Yeah, much prefer coming in off 79th than off of 83rd. Not as late as I thought it was going to be, though. It's 7:02, so put 4 minutes on it, so it's 7:06. No, make that time. All things considered. It's kind of funny, like sometimes I feel like I'm really like, oh man, like the freeway's fucked up, I need to get on Buckeye. And Buckeye's really not that much slower than the freeway. I just made the mistake of bouncing up to Van Buren when I should have. Oh yeah, it's 7 o'clock. There's the Dave Ramsey music. Which, for those who don't know, that's Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. At this point, every time I hear Baker Street, like over the intro, I'm hearing this monologue in my head.
As the status symbol of choice, we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Christina Ellis, #1 bestseller.
I actually want to make a karaoke track where it's the intro to Baker Street, and it scrolls the Dave Ramsey monologue on it. Anyway, back to the rate thing, because I'm gonna have to cut this really short as soon as I get parked. Yeah, I think a rate aggregate that takes into account how many containers you did, how many totes you did. Now, granted, I worry about counting totes because that's going to encourage people to not fill the totes. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. Although, you know, there's a fine line between, hey, how much can I cram in this tote? And, you know, I should probably cut this off because I'm probably going to, you know, because I have to cut some totes off early that I probably could have put more shit in it. But I was realizing that the odds of, I was heading into, I'm probably going to create an error where I can't even throw the tote anyway. It's going to go to a problem solver. That's hard to explain, but just trust me on this one. It's a thing. Also, but I think totes per hour should definitely be part of the aggregate. But most importantly, I think weight. How much weight you throw. Because I think you find these people that are hitting these great rates through a bunch of light, small items. Like, I've noticed that the people that are really good in this department, particularly the older Mexican lady that was behind me, who probably always hits rate, and they like her, and she's the bestest. Even though she don't fucking speak English. Although I will admit, she did, even though she couldn't explain to me what she was doing, which made it a little non-helpful, she did get me into a place where I got stuck on the computer, and she just came over and went click, 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 and I did, at least, that would have really frustrated me last week, but this week I know enough about what's going on with the computer that I was able to watch her maneuvers, and to be fair, I don't think she did anything different than what I probably would have done myself. But to see somebody that is as experienced in that department do what I would have done myself, but slower, was at least there was some confirmation there for me, which I appreciate. But anyway, yeah, I need to put something on Voice Amazon about how the rate is just arbitrary. But I mean, you know, everybody knows the management knows I work my ass off. You know, the management, the upper management, the management that I generally work with. Actually, I did have the PA in that department came up to me and it was asking me about being a jam clearer, and then she's like, oh, I'm not your unit manager at all. I just, no, she goes, oh, you have to talk to Sean about getting put in jam clear. But she was trying to put me on the training for jam clear. And I would love to get trained for jam clear. I would. In fact, I kind of stopped and talked to her a little bit about how, even though I'm not jam clear, like I'm off in the first line of defense at where the fluid line comes down with the PID lines. Often I unjam it, the line I'm adjacent to, like I often unjam it just because I know I can get to it quicker, and all the, you know, even though I'm technically not trained in jam clear, like I know what I'm doing on that particular junction and how to unjam that. Anyway, it's after, I'm already late. I gotta cut this off, but how much else to say? I was supposed to say about my personal life, what's going on, but you know, that's just boring, right? Right.